and welcome to another episode of FactsMatter. Today's episode might be the most important one I've ever done, and I guarantee it's going to make you uncomfortable no matter which side you're on. This video will make both sides uncomfortable. If you're a Republican, there's data here you won't like, and if you're a Democrat, there's data here you won't like. That's how you know it's honest. I'm not here to tell you how to vote. I'm here to show you the numbers and ask one simple question. Are you voting for or against your own interests? Most people think they're voting for what helps them, but the data tells a different story. Let's look at the numbers. Are Americans voting against their own interests? We're going to look at red states and blue cities, the patterns, and the uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to talk about. Part 1. The red state paradox. Let's start with federal aid. Which states take more than they give? Who's been running them? And what the results have been. In 2024, only 19 states sent more to the federal government than they received. The big donor states, California, New York, Texas, New Jersey, Massachusetts, states that depend heavily on federal money, West Virginia, Mississippi, New Mexico, Kentucky, Alabama. Now here's where it gets interesting. Here's the data. These are the states that depend most heavily on federal money. 27 to 36% of their state revenue comes from Washington. Look at the pattern. West Virginia, Mississippi, Kentucky, Alabama, Arkansas, South Carolina, all Republican controlled. Most have been for decades. They vote for candidates who campaign against federal spending while depending on it more than anyone else. Now look at healthcare. States that expanded Medicare have a 7.6% uninsured rate. States that refused, 14.1%, almost twice as high. 10 states still refuse Medicaid expansion, most of them in the South, all Republican controlled. And here's the kicker. 97% of people stuck in the coverage gap, too poor for ACA subsidies, but blocked from Medicaid, live in these states, Texas, Florida, Georgia. They keep electing leaders who block their own health care access. So here's the red state pattern. They depend heavily on federal money. They've been controlled by Republicans for decades. They vote for candidates who campaign against federal spending. They reject Medicaid while having the highest uninsured rates. And they remain among the poorest states in the country. Same party, same policies, same results for decades. Now, part 2, the blue city paradox. You might ask, why are we comparing red states to blue cities? Here's why. Republicans dominate state governments, Democrats dominate city governments. We go where the power is. If you want to see what happens under decades of Republican control, you look at states. If you want to see what happens under decades of Democrat control, you look at cities. So let's look at housing costs, homelessness, and who's been running America's biggest cities. Look at this table. San Francisco rent is $2,700 a month. Last Republican mayor was in 1964. That's 61 years ago. New York City and LA last Republican mayor in 2001. Boston hasn't had a Republican mayor since 1930. That's 95 years. Portland, 1950s. And what are the results? Rent eating 30 to 45% of income. Homelessness rising or at record levels. Housing completely unaffordable. Same party, same policies, same results for decades. Same bad time, same bad channel. The blue state, the blue city pattern, controlled by Democrats for decades, in some cases nearly a century. Housing costs eat a third to half of people's income. Homelessness keeps rising. NIMBY policies block new construction, and voters keep electing the same leaders expecting different results. Same party, same policies, same results. Sound familiar? So why do we do this? Why do voters in red states and blue cities keep voting for parties that haven't improved their lives? It's not because people are stupid. It's because of how human psychology works. Let's go over some reasons. Reason one, party identity beats the wallet. Politics has become a team sport. I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat. Isn't just how you vote, it's who you are. Research shows that strong partisans adapt their party's positions automatically, even when it hurts their own economic interests. Switching parties feel like betraying your identity, your family, your community. So people stay loyal, even when the results don't come. Reason two, media bubbles filter reality. Studies show that voters will say their own finances are fine, but insist the economy is terrible when the other party is in charge. It doesn't matter what's actually happening. It matters what your media bubble tells you is happening. Fox News, MSNBC show you different realities. And we vote on feelings, not our actual situation. Reason three, culture matters more than money. Guns, abortion, immigration, religion. These become more important than is my life actually getting better? Research shows people will tolerate worse material outcomes if they feel culturally or morally aligned with their leaders. A conservative in Kentucky might accept poverty if the leaders share their values on abortion. A progressive in San Francisco might accept unaffordable rent if the leaders share their values on climate. Both sides do this. So why do we vote against our interests? First, we vote for a team because that's our identity. Second, our media bubble tells us what reality is, not our bank account. Third, we value culture more than money on both sides. The result is red states and blue cities sticking with leaders who don't actually make life better. This isn't about being stupid, it's about being human. But now you know. Now I want to turn the mirror on you. the voter. Has your state or city been run by the same party for 20 years or more? Has your life gotten better? Is housing more affordable? Healthcare, your paycheck going further? If the answer is no, there's a quote often attributed to Einstein. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So, you've been voting the same way for 20 years and your life hasn't improved. It's not loyalty. According to the quote, it's insanity. So here's my challenge. Vote your interests. Just that simple. Not your team. As the next election, at the next election, don't ask, is this my party? Ask, did my job, uh, my bills, my housing, my health care actually get better under this person? If the answer is yes, keep them. If the answer is no, vote them out. It's not betrayal, that's accountability. That's democracy working the way it's supposed to. Numbers don't lie, but they don't vote for you either. That part is up to you. I'm not here to tell you how to vote. I'm here to make sure you know what you're voting for and whether it's actually working. If you want more videos like this, data over spin, facts over narratives, keep visiting the channel and I'll keep it coming because facts matter. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for listening. Be safe out there. Talk to you soon.